Hey Jake, a video of you from yesterday, about 52 seconds worth. A lot of good stuff here. You're really trying, I can tell you're really trying to hold that body angle forward and not, just do it all by opening your back. I would say it looks like you're rowing on this particular day as sort of an intermediate step to that, because you look at your outside shoulder during the drive and you're really, lifting it up. You're also looking at the blade from around the corner, so you're making your blade, you're making yourself row it in a little bit, or you're putting your back in a bad position as you're looking at the blade, which you're not doing when you're not looking at the blade. Obviously, your shoulders are in a much better position now. So, huge improvement. The other day I was talking just before, so I don't forget to tell you this, I was talking with Frank, about a lot of our novices and, who he thinks can end up being pretty good and all that. And you were way up there on his list. He knew who you were. He thought, yeah, this guy could be pretty good if he really sticks with it and really keeps working at that fitness and just keeps progressing, pushing the envelope. But I think, so that we're both agreed on that. The good thing you're doing here is you're getting your hips back with the boat. Hugely important. And it shows a nice contrast with what Mike is doing here. In fact, I'll probably tell Mike about this in his video clip. But this is the difference between moving your hips to the bow and the amount of length you get and the tautness of the system that you set up, as opposed to just moving to the stern. It lets the boat run more, gets you in a stronger position, all sorts of good benefits from it. So you're looking great, even though back here your wrist was not in a very good position. You're straightening it up. Sorry, I'm eating, so this is why I'm also burping. We'll look at your wrist position a little bit later, but you're looking really good here. Nice body angle. I think you could sit a little taller. You're as tall as Mike, and you're just sort of sagging a little bit here. A little bit of a back baby here. So I think you got to roll again. Adjust how you're sitting on the seat and roll those hips forward. So you're sitting as your head's as high as Mike's is here, right? You're a couple inches below it probably. But you try to catch without moving your back, and that is gold. You're not really used to just crushing it, though, and you can tell because even though you're trying to hold your back in the right position, you still let your shoulders come up, and as your shoulders come up, it slacks up the system. It's funny, so instead of your arms just kind of doing this, they just kind of do that, as opposed to this, they kind of do that. And that kind of slacks up the system. It gets your shoulders moving toward the bow because the water is pushing the blade. See out here, your shoulder was in front of your chin, well in front of your chin, and you want that. But as you started to drive, you kind of let the blade be pushed by the water, and you didn't keep pushing your leg. So now your shoulder rose up, and now your shoulder is over your ear. So it clearly moved, many inches back, whatever that is, 6 inches back, without really connecting the shell or connecting and moving the shell. So you're in a really awkward position here, and you didn't force the slack out of the system by pushing your hips back. You kind of moved your hips with the speed of the boat, but you didn't really connect because you just kind of let this come up and you kind of let the handle just come at you as the water was pushing the blade toward the stern. So, if you understand that and just make yourself hang on it when you're in the drive, your shoulders should still be out here because you're pushing so hard with your legs and the handle's resisting in the opposite direction, it pulls your arm out. Not your shoulder comes up and you do this, but down and pull it out like that. That's how it should look, okay? This is better with the release. You got your wrists, your palms are not on the handle. That's very good, but your wrists are definitely too low, especially your outside wrist. You got to get this outside wrist up and in a better position, but you let your hips come back as you get your length, and you're nicely reconciling this position here. This is good. But the boat is set and you're skipping the blade on the water. So this is a clear indication that your wrists were too bent on recovery. because when they get bent like this and they get low, the handle is just a little bit too high. So when you square the blade, bammo, that happens a lot. Very common, as you know. So this is why you want your wrist above the knuckle here. And then that handle would not be where it is now, but another solid inch or two lower. That would give you the clearance off the water, and we would avoid that. And you're all set up. You are dropping your outside shoulder a little bit here. So, and that is, of course, what always happens when you hit the water. You're like, bing, oh, blades, handle's too high. I got to get that handle off the water. And how do people always react? They drop the outside shoulder. And not good. That's the wrong way to react. Now your shoulders are absolutely out of alignment. Like if you remember the picture from the other day with the California Rowing Club guy, and his shoulders are real comfortably, aligned. Yours are now the exact opposite of that. So lower the handle, but put your shoulders back where they were, and you'll be in an even better position. But you're doing a really nice job of trying not to use your back to put the blade in the water. That's good. But you need to sit up more here to create more of a rigid pillar against which you will push with the hips and push, or that they will provide a nice connection as your heels push against this footboard and push your heels that way. You have a very rigid, strong connection through your trunk, and of course, just push. I mean, really push, so that, and don't waste your time lifting up your shoulder to do that. So we just kind of let it roll, and you can see how the second half of the drive right here. Well, let me just see if I can pause that. Yeah, it's not wanting to.